Viewer discretion is advised. Seriously, I'm the guy with 2 Venuses. Ask me anything. FAQ, both are 100% functional. What I was born with is called diphalia. I did not absorb a twin. It's not genetic or inherited. I'm bisexual and in a committed relationship with a man and a woman, but have permission to stray only with James Franco, wherever he is. My proof. Proof is in the description. I bet your dad won all the arguments if any other parent compared their kids to you. Well Andrew, my kid has 2 ducks, so Andy Jr. can suck it twice. La la la, I'll have to ask him. Did you have any nicknames in high school? Johnson & Johnson seems like a pretty good one. A buddy nicknamed me Double D. Has a female ever asked to put both inside her at once? Yep. Many. How did it go? Very nicely. She complained later though that her cervix was poking out and that her hole was huge. She kept coming back for more at least for 3 months. Lol. Once you go double, you're in for some trouble. Has having both ever landed you in a situation where you wish that you only had one normal Venus? 2 words. High school. When you got drunk and passed out, did people draw 2 ducks on your forehead instead of 1? When it first got out, yeah. But then it became a joke and guys immediately thought I was gay because, I guess I chose to have 2 cocks. You should have said that's what happens after you have enough threesomes. You evolve another duck to please both girls at once. But you were the baddest mother ducker in the locker room, right? Quit staring at my Venuses. If you don't mind me asking, what was your singular best sexual experience so far? 2 dudes in my ass at the same time, with each duck and a different girl, who were riding me, pussy to pussy, while a guy and girl stood over me, and let me eat / lick / suck on them while they ducked. The aristocrats. Serious question, when you pee, do you pee from both? I imagine that would get tricky at times. Yup, and it's not tricky, I've peed from both all my life. Yes, but how? Do you hold them together to aim properly? Zip ties. Just piss in 2 different urinals at the same time. Pee in your urinal and the urinal of the guy next to you at the same time. Establish dominance. I honestly expected to see 1 TNZ extra wiener when I clicked on the link yesterday, but was surprised to see they were similar in size. Are you happy they are that way, or would a little one have been easier to deal with? I like them the way they are. They are more proportionate to each other than they look in photos. I'm limited to holding the camera myself. If one had been smaller, it'd be more difficult to deal with. So yeah, I like that they're the way they are. The problems in my life are very different to yours. Duck me, I can't even get 1 average sized Venus and OP gets 2. Sorry brah. Ever gotten a blowjob from 2 girls / man at the same time? Yep. So has there ever been that awkward moment when one person finishes the job before the other? It's a race. Nap, they both come at the same time, but if you're working on the left one you have to suck it out. The right one launches every time. Peeing after sex must be like a damn sprinkler system going off. Do you twist your hips back and forth to try and get your Venuses to clap together? They slap but not clap. Lol. Do you have a favorite? Yes, the right one. The left one has a grudge against me for it too. Lol. Are there any possible complications you have to watch for? My prostate gets inflamed if I don't ejaculate enough. I'm probably the only guy with a legit reason to orgasm at least once every day or 2 days. My prostate gets stimulation from both cocks and creates a lot of seminal fluid. So when I come it has to be squeezed every few days to get all the excess out, otherwise it feels bloated and painful. Have you ever made an effort to find someone with 2 vajayjays? No. There's someone for everyone. Yeah, I had, and I've seen some pics kind of hot, but I'd end up destroying her. I pound pretty damn hard. She'd go from 2 tiny vajayjay holes to 1 big gaper. How do women react when they find out? Varies from girl to girl. Some have been like wow. Some have been like that's fake. Some have freaked out like called me names. Most are pretty curious, but I don't have casual sex anymore. I stopped a few years back. Didn't like the empty feeling inside after a one night stand. Did a lot of those in my late teens. A lot of them. But for the most part, girls were nervous and some changed their mind at the last minute. Dudes never change their mind. They always want it, even if they're freaked out a little. Lol. Oh, are you bisexual? He never had a problem going two ways. I think it's more complicated than that. His left duck is gay, but his right is straight. Have you ever considered getting one removed? In my mid-teens. Yeah. Now, hell no. So tell me, what's it like, having a boyfriend and a girlfriend at the same time? Any awkwardness between the three of you? Actually no awkwardness. They were a couple, before they mutually started dating me. She is straight, and he is bisexual, and discovered he was when after 4 months of them both knowing me, they found out about my cocks. It clicked and we've been together since. It seems amazingly fitting that the man with 2 ducks is in a polyamorous relationship. It makes me happy to see someone in a very unique / unusual situation find the perfect fit for themselves. Have you named them? Lol, no comment. His and hers. What's it like, having both of them in the same hole? Snug? It's nice. I like hearing the moaning from the person I'm squeezed inside of. I want you inside me. When you helicopter, is it really super impressive, or does having an extra rotor just get in the way? Lol, if I'm totally soft, it's impressive. Getting them to go different directions, that's something I'd love to be able to do, but can't. Have you ever been given a double-fisted reach around? Lol, actually yeah, I've had a guy pounding into me reach around with both hands and go skiing. Do you shower at the Y, or wait until you get home? How do you deal with the triple takes? I'm assuming you get stares, and not just sneaker peeks. I generally avoid public bathrooms, and if I do use one I try to use the stall, and not a wall urinal. There've been times where I've had to use the urinal, and because I have one muscle that controls my piss, it lets the stream flow out both my ducts, so unless I pinch off one of them, it comes out both, and that doesn't feel good. So I have to take both out to pee. Yeah, I've gotten stares and even had a few guys at various times go holy shit. Can one be hard and the other not? Always starts that way. Left one starts to get semi first, then stops at a certain point. Right one then gets rock hard, and if I'm horny enough the left one will continue to stiffen up and get bigger. Once or twice, with a cock ring on, they've both been equally rock hard. Have you ever peed and had both do the forked stream? That's a catastrophe with just one Venus. I can't imagine how annoying it must be with 4 streams. Yeah, it's happened, and is twice as devastating. Have you ever done this? Step 1. Tell someone you don't know I have 13 inches of Venus. Step 2. Offer to show them. Step 3. Whip out Venus number 1, to mild disappointment. Step 4. Whip out Venus number 2, for the big reveal. Well, have you? Lol, no I haven't. But I might now. Do they both hang to one side of your pants, or do they split the seam? When I go commando, which is almost always except in winter, they take their own sides. The seam can be a pain sometimes, because the skin between them is a little delicate and sensitive. So, how does having 2 ducks impact daily life? I guess if I woke up one morning with an extra duck, I could answer that. But it's been there my whole life. Don't know how to answer that. What is the worst thing about having 2 Venuses? What is the best thing? Worst? Briefs / underwear. I wear a small / medium in the waist, 28-30 waist, so briefs that can hold it all together are too big, and briefs that fit everywhere else, I fall out of both sides. Best. Having 2 cocks. Do you alternate Venus when you're masturbating? Lol, I have, and I can, but usually just jerk the right one. The left one gets caught up in the mayhem sometimes, but either way he gets off too. Lol. Have you ever had any special reaction from a doctor with this? Yeah, one grabbed like 5 others in the building. That was the last time my mom let anyone examine me for any reason besides personal checkups. She said my son is not a freak show, and slapped one of them. Lol. You ever just surprise a partner with them? Just for shock value though. Yeah, forgot to mention I have 2 wieners. In my teens. Yeah, it was priceless. What's the best reaction from someone seeing your double duck? Hunky muscle dude at a gym I was at. I was working out in my jock strap and shorts, and the shorts were very baggy and loose, and I fell out of my jock on either side and somehow he noticed. He asked me in the locker room if he could please see them. I asked him, are you gay or something? And he said no, but I think I'm now. It was great. Is this extra cock some sort of wizard? because it seems to convert a lot of straight guys into double cock cravers. How old were you when you first realized you were different? No idea. I always knew I had an extra one. My mom told me the other boys only had one, so I was special. Has a guy ever put both your ducks together and ducked between them, like a titty duck but with ducks? If not, would you ever let them? This is probably the most uncouth thing I've ever typed in my life. Yeah, a few times. Lol. Do you wake up with morning wood on both cocks? Not gonna lie, as a gay man your equipment is really hot. I have before, yeah. Lol, thanks man. As a B dude, I appreciate that compliment. Do you have difficulties with sex toys if you use them? Also, what about condoms? I like sex toys, especially inflatable dildos, and usually like having one in my ass while I have sex. Trouble is I usually end up rupturing the inflatable dildo because I inflate it too big when it's inside. Spent a fortune replacing them. Condoms are a pain. They slip off easy because I can't tug them all the way down. Maybe I should cut the thumb and index finger off a pair of dish gloves. How often do you sword fight? Rarely. No one wants to go up against someone with two swords when they only have one. You mentioned that you can do both holes. How easily are they bendable? Just as easy as any other guy's cock. Just gotta be careful about how far I try to spread them away from each other. The skin at the base can only stretch so far. Do you know if this was a genetic mutation or a developmental abnormality? Also, does having both Venuses stimulated at the same time feel better than a single one being stimulated? It's congenital and it's from some crazy shit going on during development in the womb. My mom had some difficulties leading up to me being born, and they noticed something was up with the ultrasound, but not clearly till I came out with two ducks. Stimulation of both at the same time feels good, but better when they are being sucked or are inside someone. Jerking them at the same time just feels like jerking too hard. I usually just jerk the right one. Have you ever considered a career in porn? Serious question. Yes, I did a few years ago, but decided against it. It's one thing to be unique, it's another thing to be a novelty. I'd only be popular for so long, and then I'd just be another blip in the hiccup of the porn business. The pay is shit from what I've seen, and I don't need money. I'm comfortable now. Besides, I can't figure a value for my dignity. The only reason I let photos out is because I thought people might like to know at least one guy with two normal ducks exists. All the others are pretty scary looking, and I feel for them.